Welcome back to Digi Bros. Victor was telling us a story about New York.
What's up, guys? I was really excited to tell you this story. I feel like I'm not doing a great job, but I'm giving it my all. I'm doing my best. Trying to get hype. It's hot. I'm sweating. I keep like wiping sweat off of myself. I'm in my underwear. I'm in this place forever fighting ghosts.
I can tell all the comments on this are gonna be like reassurance of like how you're doing fine and stuff.
Probably.
It's all gonna be like,
which is gonna make me go like, why did I even bother?
It's gonna be like Moomin Rider, like
yes. Oh, I love Moomin Rider.
Anyway,
did you watch One Punch Man?
I did indeed watch all of One Punch Man while you were
it?
gone. Yes.
You watched consecutive normal episodes?
Yeah.
Now you can finally understand the consecutive normal jokes.
Have you been making that?
Yes, I have. I've been doing a lot of them. And you never notice because you don't know. Just been waiting.
Yeah. It was, I gotta tell you about the experience of watching it because it was kind of hilarious. And I kind of set myself up for disappointment by approaching it this way.
Oh, no.
I mean, I enjoyed the show. But, so I had only seen episodes 1 and 3 of One Punch Man.
Yeah.
Right? And I was kind of under the impression that the show, like, I had the feeling I knew exactly what the show was going to be.
Yeah.
I was like, it's going to be, you know, every time there's going to be some new enemy, it's going to be all this build up, and then he's going to kill it with one punch, right?
Yeah.
And so I kind of had that mentality, and, like, I don't know why I didn't watch the show while it was airing, because I was too busy doing fucking Asterisk War shit, and, like, I just felt like I just didn't want to for some reason. But then, you know, over time, I've heard people talking about the show, and I started to feel like maybe there's more to it than I first thought. Because I started hearing about this whole Heroes Association and Moomin Rider and all this other stuff, and I was like, alright, I gotta, you know, maybe there's, now I'm getting excited that maybe there's more to it I don't know, right? Yeah. And then, I was like, I was out for a walk, and, you know, I've been, like, kind of agonizing over, like, what do I want my next big series to be?
Yeah.
You know? So, like, I had originally, like, there was a time when I wanted to do a full video series on Myriad Colors Phantom World, like when Asterisk War first ended. So I was like, alright, I'm gonna watch once I watched Phantom World, I was like, this doesn't deserve that many videos.
Yeah.
Like, I could write 6 videos about this show, but no one's gonna care. Like, with the Asterisk War, the point was that it's like, are you, like, still engaged with this?
Yes, I'm listening.
You look like you're just zoning.
I'm finally actually getting to look at the game.
I see. Yeah, you know, with Phantom World, it was like, with Asterisk War, the point was that it was like the worst show possible. So that's why I was like digging into it so much. And I got to like really go off on it, and it was a lot of fun. With Phantom World, it was like the point was that it's mediocre.
Yeah.
And I just didn't think it would carry a whole series of videos to just be like, this show's kind of boring. You know, no one wants to hear me go, this show's kind of boring for a fucking hour. So I just wrote the one video about it and just summarized all my points in like one example each. So, like, I kind of wanted to have a video that's about something that's really, really good, and, like, do a long series on something really good. And, you know, I'd always felt like One Punch Man, there just wouldn't be enough to say.
Yeah.
Like, there's a few things I wanted to talk about. I really want to talk about how great the fight animation is, but I didn't think there'd be anything to say outside of that. Well, then, so I'm like, out for a walk the other day, and just suddenly, I feel this moral imperative that I should write a book about One Punch Man.
Oh, God.
Mind, I've still only seen episodes 1 and 3. But all of a sudden, I'm just like, oh my God, this is what I've been missing. It's been right in front of me all this time. How could I have not realized? I'm Digi Bro. I can write a book about anything. It doesn't, like, you know, obviously I'll be able to find enough stuff to write a whole book about One Punch Man. It's fucking One Punch Man. I was just thinking about how, like, inherently awesome One Punch Man is. And, like, I wrote a whole paragraph that's like, the first paragraph was, One Punch Man is fucking awesome. You already know this. Even if you haven't heard of One Punch Man, just hearing the title lets you know it's fucking awesome. Everything else you'll ever learn about One Punch Man will just reinforce the idea that it's fucking awesome, right? So I'm getting all hyped to, like, write a book about One Punch Man, because I had this feeling like the reason that the anime community hasn't responded that well to me getting more negative is that everyone else has seen One Punch Man, and they're like all excited about anime because they just watched such a great anime, and I didn't watch it, and that's why I'm not as excited. So I'm like building this up in my head this way. And then I start watching One Punch Man, right? So I watch episode 1 and I'm like, yeah. And I watch episodes 2, 3, and 4 and I'm like, yeah. And then after that, it sank in that I was completely right about One Punch Man from the beginning. And it was exactly what I thought it was going to be. Like, because the Heroes Association, I already knew everything I needed to know, which is that he doesn't rank very highly because the system is broken. That's all you need to know about the Heroes Association. I already knew everything you needed to know about Moomin Rider. Everyone loves him because he has spirit, but he's, you know, he's not a good fighter. But, like, other than that, the show is just a bunch of fights. Like, that's all it is. It's just a bunch of fights. And I was like, okay.
And it's rad. That's the point.
Here's the thing. The moment it sunk in that there was no way I could write a book about One Punch Man because there's not much to say about it, was when I realized that after episode 4, it's really just a worse version of Hunter x Hunter.
Well,
like,
if you're thinking of it that way.
Well, like, because the first, like, the beginning of the show is, like, about, like, the parody. It's like, you know, Saitama beats people up before they have time to finish their story, their sob story, everything. It's like this funny parody of the idea of what, you know, shonen manga is. You've got Genos and all that. But then, like, after that, it's really just, like, a fight thing that just happens to end with him killing people in one punch at the end. And I was like, all the characters who get introduced, like, look like Hunter x Hunter characters and have the same powers as Hunter x Hunter
it's similar to Hunter x Hunter.
And it's like, oh, this is just Hunter x Hunter now. But the thing is, with Hunter x Hunter, like, every character's really interesting. Yeah. And with One Punch Man, most of them are just, like, one-off joke guys. Because
they're jokes.
You know?
It's just a jokey
and it's like
gag show, you know, that
like,
happens to be, like, the irony is that it is a dumb, jokey gag thing that's done so well. Like, that was the whole, like, the revision of the manga, where it's like, it was just this crude, simple thing, and then they make it super detailed.
But
and
that's
it's
the
funny.
thing, like, I think that the joke was told in, like, the first like, the first episode is an amazing short film, you know, and then after that it's just kind of like and it's not like consistently funny. It just becomes a battle thing. Like, it just becomes a really normal battle manga.
It's just fun.
Like, there's all these power like, the joke is that none of it matters because Saitama will just end everything in one punch and he doesn't care about the rankings. But the way everyone else acts is this is just a battle manga, you know? So you'll watch, like, 3 episodes of what is basically Hunter x Hunter, and then it'll end with him killing an enemy in one punch and doing something, like, kind of parody-ish, you know? So once that
like
sank in,
all the dudes like, are goofy, but, like, Hunter x Hunter was already that goofy.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Like, because I was like, this is kind of a parody, but at the same time, there's nothing in this that wasn't in Hunter x Hunter. Yeah. Like, that show also was really cynical about the ideas of being a hero and stuff, and, like, it had all these subversions.
There was already like the anti-shonen,
right?
You know?
So as I was watching it, I was just like, I could never write a book about this show because I could totally write a book about Hunter x Hunter. Like, I realized, man, Hunter x Hunter has so much going on. Like, it only really sinks in when you're watching One Punch Man, and because, like, the last 2 episodes is, like, or last 3 episodes, like, the big Boros fight, right? Yeah. Where, like, all the hunters, all the, like, main heroes show up, and they're all fighting. And, like, every hunter, or I'm calling them hunters, every hero in the show, their personality is, like, they're an asshole. Like, that's everyone's, they're just, it's an asshole, he wants to fight shit. So, like, they fight the bad guy and they're all just like, I'm gonna kick your ass, I'm gonna kick your ass, I'll kick everyone's ass, you know? And I'm like, okay. And then I'm thinking back to Hunter x Hunter and I'm like, man, this would be the same thing except every character would have, like, a really deep, interesting, like, arc, you know?
It'd be that their power is ridiculously complex. Right. And it needs all of this explaining.
But, like, you know, like, everything that happens in Hunter x Hunter has, like, a lot of emotion behind it, and there's always, like, some really interesting stuff happening. And so it just kind of sank in that, like, man, there's so much to say about Hunter x Hunter, and not that much to say about One Punch Man. Yeah. So, yeah, I kind of left off feeling like, well, the fight scenes were amazing.
I don't know why you would have thought you could write a novel. Like, I was hoping you could get one good video about One Punch Man that wouldn't be about, like, the plot or anything. It would be about some detail you found.
Well, that's exactly what I thought it would be. Like, because that's the thing. I kind of built myself up that, like, the only thing that I'd be able to talk about with One Punch Man was the fight direction. Like,
Yeah.
I had that feeling before I watched it, and a big part of why I didn't watch it is that I just didn't feel like writing that video.
Yes.
And then, like, I just kept putting off watching the show. And then once I convinced myself that I could write... Because I was kind of, like, you know... Canipa Show wrote a video that was basically about all the animation in the show, and I was kind of like, this kind of makes mine feel like it's going to be obsolete, you know? So, like, it was like, I don't know if I...
Oh, shit.
And Best Guy Ever is already making a One Punch Man video, so his might already say a bunch of the good shit, you know?
It's a Marowak.
So I was just kind of like, I don't know if there's anything to say about it. So then once I convinced myself, of course I'll have stuff to say about it. I have stuff to say about everything. It's One Punch Man. It's legendary. It's a classic. People are going to talk about it for 10 years. Of course I have to write about it. And then I watched the show and I was like, well, at least I convinced myself to finally watch One Punch Man.
At least you fucking watch One Punch Man,
Yeah.
which is fun.
I would give it a 8.5 out of 10.
Yeah. It's nothing mind-blowing.
No.
It's just a fun show.
I just think
it looks amazing.
I
And
just
it's
think
gonna
it's
make a
funny
lot of
that,
great
like,
Sakuga AMVs.
I think it's hilarious that, like, what convinced me that I was wrong about the show was learning, like, these 2 details that turned out to be the only 2 details. And also, I was really kind of disappointed that he doesn't beat Boros in one punch. I was like, oh, the gimmick's already over now. Like,
Well, because it was that he didn't use a serious punch.
right, but still.
Which was
You know.
funny and awesome. And that's why I was like, I wanted you to watch it because I'm like, they don't continue the gimmick the entire time.
Right.
But then it builds up to an even more fun finale, which is that he was just holding back on everyone so far and never
Right.
threw a serious punch. And then he finally got a satisfying fight because he had to throw his serious punch.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert from One Punch Man. A little bit late.
If you really care about being spoiled for fucking One Punch Man, like,
Yeah.
I don't think it's a show you could really spoil. You know how the fight's gonna end. He's gonna punch him.
Except it doesn't end! That way, he uses consecutive normal punches! I'm just glad you, like, literally, that was what I wanted you to watch it the most for, was so you can see consecutive normal punches. Oh, man.
He actually does that in episode 2, you realize. I just hadn't seen episode 2.
Does he?
I'd only seen 1 and 3. Yeah, he uses it against one of the Beastmen from the Genesis lab or whatever.
Well, it's not the same.
It was like the lion dude attacks him and he goes consecutive normal punches, which was unnecessary, but he did it anyways, just to
But
introduce
this was
the
like,
attack.
you know, he had to.
Right.
Oh, the consecutive normal punches. It's my favorite.
Anyway, so continue your story about New York.
No.
Now that I've interrupted it with 13 minutes of One Punch Man.
Alright, so we get to New York. I
I don't know, should we save the rest of the New York story for the next episode
Are
and
we
just completely...
towards the end of an episode or what?
No, but we could just talk more about
we can
anime.
just talk about whatever. I don't give a fuck, man. Whatever pads us out.
So, yeah.
We hyped it. We hyped it, and now they get nothing.
Yeah, fine, tell the New York
No, fuck them.
I don't know what else to talk about. I just thought about it and I was like, One Punch Man's... like, you haven't watched any of the new shows, so...
Yeah. All right.
New York.
I Love New York. Was a
New
show. It was about Flavor Flav dating a bunch of shitty women.
What?
You remember this?
Was that called I Love New York?
Yeah. Oh no, that was Flavor of Love, and then the character New York from Flavor Flav's show got her own
Right.
spin-off that was I Love New York.
There
And
you
that
go.
was about her being a bitch. And it was the reverse. God, what a horrible, horrible program.
Anyways, you went to New York. You stayed in a hipster hotel.
Yeah, we went to the hipster hotel and we checked in. This is probably around like 4 o'clock in the afternoon when we got there. We checked in. Then we're like, let's walk around New York and find something to do. It's New York. It's awesome. It's New York. And so we're walking
I love
around
New
and
York.
it's like 36 degrees or some shit, freezing our asses off.
20 degrees outside.
But we're having a blast walking around.
Toasted in the tunnel.
And we're in Manhattan, and so we go to Madison Square Garden, and it's one of those things where it's like, you always want to go to Times Square because it's awesome, and you get there and you look around, and then all of a sudden you're like, I have nothing to do here because it's just a bunch of commercial bullshit. It's just a bunch of ads everywhere, and then it's, you know, there's some Toys R Us stores you can go in if it's your first time and you want to go and look at those and be like, oh, look at this spectacular store. But then it's like, oh, I'm in New York. What am I gonna go to fucking H&M? Like, what am I gonna do in Times Square? So we look around, we take some selfies, and then we're just like, all right, well, we saw Times Square, so let's look around. We're looking at plays. We're going down Broadway. We're looking at all the theaters, and then everywhere's closed because it's Sunday. Right. So we're like looking at our phones, trying to find something to see, and we're like, shit, it's Sunday. We can't do anything.
As Wiki put it, tourists come, try to escape, admire the place, visit the Empire Estate. I prefer a roof, stoop, fire escape.
Yeah.
Were you listening to Rat King at all while you were there?
I did on the way home, but only briefly.
I would have non-stop been Rat King.
Like, the van we were in had super shitty speakers, so something like that just sounded like mumbled garbage. And I didn't want to play it super loud because I was just like, whatever. But cut. Shit, what am I saying? Anyways, we're going around. We can't find anything to do because it's Sunday. And then at some point we pass by like this bar that says they're gonna have live jazz at 9 p.m. and we're like, sweet, let's remember this bar and we'll go see live jazz later because there's nothing else to do. And then we start looking around for a place to eat. And like on the way to Times Square, we had seen a million awesome like Thai places we wanted to go to and stuff. And we're like, yeah, let's try to remember those. We didn't think to mark anything, to remember the street it was on. So we just like go wandering around for like an hour just looking for somewhere to eat. And now we can't find anything. After we go to Times Square, we can't find a single good sounding place to eat. So we're just wandering around looking for Thai food, and then we finally found like a Chinese place that looked cool. We go into this Chinese place and it's like only been open for 4 days. And so the people working there are super excited to talk to us. And like this woman comes up and she's like a white lady with kind of a weird accent, and she talks really slow, almost like she's insane. And then she just come up and like just
maybe
start
English
talking
isn't
to
her
you,
first language.
And she'd be like, no, it sounded like it was her first language, but she also sounded insane. Like it was very weird and very uncomfortable. And she'd walk up and she'd just kind of look at you for a minute, and then she'd be like, "Where are you from?" And you'd reply, and then she'd be like,
"Why me?
Yeah.
Why am I replying? You reply."
Well, I'd reply. But anyways, she was very weird. And we're looking at the menu, and we don't really know what to get. There's a lot of options, and a lot of them are in Chinese. Quick attack. But we... That's right. Yes, this is an important
Victor
detail.
telling stories is how we're gonna lose Pokemon. Like, we're just gonna lose the game. You didn't know you could lose Pokemon, but it can happen.
I ran out of heals. All my Pokemon suck, dude. Vaporeon has nothing. Fucking... How did I do this to myself? All of them suck except for Pidgeotto and fucking Weepinbell. I should just throw all these other Pokemon in the trash. This Ghastly's good, but he's dying.
This is... At least you don't have a fucking Beedrill.
Rare candy. I've never even had this hard of a time in Pokemon before. I usually don't get shit Pokemon. Or delete my fucking War Turtle's best attack. Oh, cool. Fart. Goodbye, Moon Man. Moon Man. Anyways, so we're trying to order in our place, and the woman's like, trying to give us suggestions.
Shadow Punch. Fuck yeah, pay attention to this.
Fuck yeah!
Get rid of, I don't know, Confuse Ray?
It can't be evaded, man. What does this do?
That's your other attack.
Oh, so it does damage based on my level. Confuse Ray's great. Fuck that. I'll get rid of Lick, maybe.
Well, Curse gets rid of half your HP. Well, whatever.
Anyways, we're talking to the lady, and Snape is like, I've been to China before. I can eat anything. And she's like, oh, you should try like this pork cutlet with sticky rice, and it sounds real good. And then I'm like, she's like, what do you want? I'm like, I like chicken and, you know, not too spicy. And then she's like, huh, chicken not so spicy. She gets another waitress. She's like, what do we have for chicken and not so spicy? She's like, oh, try the Kung Pao chicken. I'm just like, I don't want fucking Kung Pao chicken. I want real Chinese food.
Right.
So I'm like, maybe not the Kung Pao chicken. I look here and I'm like, there's something in the what's called like the creative menu. It seems like all legit stuff. And I'm like,
Creative
what are these chicken balls? And she's like, oh, that's a Kung Pao chicken. And I'm just like, I guess it's some special Kung Pao chicken, so I'll get that. Which, my theory is that she just either misunderstood me or didn't think I'd be able to handle the creative menu, and so she just gave me Kung Pao chicken, which was extremely disappointing. Because Snape gets his food, and it's like fucking amazing. Like we shared some of each other's foods. It's like this amazing sticky rice with like this sweet pork that just falls off the bone, and it was like awesome. And mine was just like some normal fucking Kung Pao chicken, and I'm just like, this is not what I wanted. I did not come here and pay like all this fucking money for the normal fucking Kung Pao chicken. And then like I had just gotten like I didn't get a drink, and he had gotten like his thing was more expensive, and he got a beer. And then I asked them to split the check, and they split it 50-50. So I paid like $5 more than I would have paid, so it was like $25 for this fucking meal for me.
Why the fuck would they do that?
I don't know.
How
and then
stupid can they be?
Snape's like, it's okay, I'll cover the tip. And then it turns out the place is no tips.
Uh-huh.
So it's just like, great, I paid extra for this food, which he bought me a drink later, so that was cool. Otherwise, I would have just been like, this is bullshit.
What a bunch of idiots.
This fucking stupid place. It was like, you know, they haven't been open long, and they were clearly, the woman was insane. She was definitely insane. Oh man, it was a fun place.
Fucking
The sticky
idiot.
rice was great as hell.
Can't let that down. That's just,
And Snape told me all sorts of stories about eating spicy food in Thailand and shit.
Who hears split the check and thinks 50-50? That doesn't make any fucking sense.
Oh, yeah, when you didn't get equal amounts of shit. Like,
Right.
what the hell?
Next time on Digi Bros, more stories. More food stories.
Perhaps.